Sunday afternoon and brew my cup. No UFO live stream shows on What the Truck. Hold up, what am I thinking? Terrestrial materials on at 1 p.m. Eastern. Terrestrial material, give me a recap. Terrestrial material, that's where you'll find me at. Aliens and AI, Matt, he's a hell of a guy. I bet I'll see John Stokes' steps and rotary motion. The cosmic twilight will hang out too. Jeff Garvey and Tim G. Star will sure stop by. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Live stream shows on What the Truck. Hold up, what am I thinking? Terrestrial materials on at 1 p.m. Eastern. Terrestrial material, give me a recap. Terrestrial material, that's where you'll find me at. Aliens and AI, Matt, he's a hell of a guy. I bet I'll see John Stokes' steps and rotary motion. Cosmic twilight will hang out too. Jeff Garvey and Tim G. Star will sure stop by. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Go! Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please don't forget to like, share, and me a recap. Terrestrial material, that's where you'll find me at. Aliens and AI, Matt, he's a hell of a guy. I bet I'll see John Stokes' steps in rotary motion.
I already see him.
The cosmic twilight will hang out too. Jeff Garvey and Tim G. Star will sure stop by. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah. Oh, that was the inner Doc coming out of me there. Oh, Doc. Doc's been in trouble, man. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to Terrestrial Material, where we talk about the material us terrestrials are interested in. Right? It's Sunday. We got the little song on. Let me mute this so I can move this thing. Okay, now I'm back. Can everybody hear me? Everybody see me? We're standing again today. We are standing again today. John Stokes, Rotary, the song members, Cosmic Twilight. Good to see you guys. Thanks for coming in here. Elephant in the room, of course. We are going up, I believe, against like Matt Ford today. I think he's about to interview Elizondo live or something on his channel. There's probably people out there that would say, you know, don't talk about that. Don't advertise that. I'm just saying, if we don't have the typical peeps that come in here today, hey, I understand. You know, the big guy over there. But I guess that's not the only time we're going to talk about Matt Ford today. It's been an interesting week for ufology. I've been kind of waiting. I feel like these shows like every 2 weeks, with just how the news is coming out right now, it just feels a bit better. I feel like I have a bit more to go over. But then on the other hand, I feel like I do leave some of the things out that maybe you guys are looking at. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think you guys who really watch consistently, you're pretty informed. Nick, you're pretty informed. You know, John, same thing. I see you out there retweeting everybody else's stuff. And you guys are on Twitter. You guys are looking around. Jeff Garvey, good to see you, dude. Thanks for coming. Yeah, and so I don't mind leaving out some of the things that you're going to get from a lot of other channels that are out there. I mean, you know, Vetted is a huge show, right? People are going to watch Vetted. He goes every day. So if I feel like I see something that, even though I'm interested in it, but it's been kind of beaten to death, you know, I may pass over it. But I mean, if there is something, I always say the comments are wide open, guys. So if you wanted to drop something down there and say, hey, look, I'd rather see you cover this or something else, I mean, I can go over the best that I can. But like I said, you know, we try to keep this thing within 1 hour's time frame. Look at the kind of the highlights that I think are cool for the week. And there are some interesting stuff going on, without a doubt. So as we usually do, I'll give you guys a little bit of a breakdown what we're going to look at today. So we're going to go over the Sarah Gamm interview on the Good Trouble Show. That is in the description, the full episode. I think I have like 5 or 6 clips that are there, that we'll take a look at that I thought were really cool points. There, to be honest, there's a lot in the interview. And of course, we can't play the whole thing. And I mean, if you're going to watch the whole thing, you know, on your own anyways. You're probably going to like to do that anyway. Well, I think I picked out a couple of really interesting points for it, so we'll take a little bit of a look at that. There is a little bit of Elizondo talk. The last couple of days, we've had some of his military background called into question, and so we're going to touch a little bit on that, and I'll give you my thoughts. Best that I can do. I don't know everything about the military by any means. My dad did do 2 tours in Vietnam, so I've heard him kind of talk about stuff. But as far as how the positions work and stuff like that, you know, we'll take a look at it. I'll give you the best opinion that I can on it. And then, of course, Congress had a couple announcements. I mean, they're not super new, but there's some audio clips that are probably going to be interesting to you guys to hear from. I know Gillibrand is in one of them. Shout out to Askapol for getting a hold of that. That's always great. Corbell's cat. You're going to make me laugh at the start today. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? And then the AI videos. We actually have a drone video we're going to look at, which is pretty cool. You may have seen it though, but it's pretty cool. And then the AI video, I'm sure you guys haven't seen it unless you're UFC fans. And it's because it's from last night. And what the UFC ended up doing with AI was pretty cool, man. When I seen it this morning, I was like, got to get that in there for the AI video. That's got to be it. And then there were like a couple last minute additions that are like the top of the feed of my bookmark feed that you guys see and follow along with every week. And we'll touch on that because, you know, there's always last minute stuff. And, you know, when I'm setting everything up, it's Twitter. You know, I'm going to watch Twitter while I'm getting everything around and see if there's anything last minute that we can bring up. So without further ado, as they say, let me get over to the full browser here, the big screen, as we like to say over here. Let me get this thing. Oh, look at me. I'm zooming out. I'm already backwards today. We're not starting right here. I just got to get down to the bottom here. All right. So Sarah Gamm. So this was what, September 10th. So this is a few days, maybe 4 or 5 days ago. The Good Trouble Show interview, I think, was definitely a couple of days ago. But Stephen Greenstreet, this is the first time I'd seen anything about her. So I just simply, you know, I grabbed the tweet. It says, so let me go in just a little bit more for you guys. And it's for me too, because I'll be honest with you, I shouldn't be just staring at this other monitor as much as I am. So it says Sarah Gamm was an analyst for the Pentagon's UFO task force, the UAPTF, 2013 to 2022. She worked for the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, the NGA, and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, ODNI. Okay, and he goes a little bit further down here, and let's just go ahead and pop that. And look, I want to preface this right off the top, okay? That she is going to be controversial for a lot of people. We're going to see why that is. So when I go over what I've been able to kind of piece together with her background a little bit, we're going to get both sides. We're going to get more of the, hey, she's into some very interesting stuff, some kind of woo-woo stuff. What do people think about that? But we're also going to look at the side of more grounded things with her. So this isn't coming from a biased approach. You guys know how I do this, but I at least want to put this out here because I have been using a lot more of Stephen Greenstreet stuff lately because he's been on top of it, man. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, the content's there and the information's there. I'm going to go for it. But he says she claims to be a psychic medium who can communicate with angels and dead people under the name, quote unquote, Sarah Grace. She runs a psychic business for $75, and you can hire her to do a psychic reading, or for $150 to contact a dead relative. And of course, she has a website right here. Now, I've heard people say something about she got doxxed or something like that, or like that he doxed her. I don't know. I think this is all like public information that I'm aware of. I don't see how a website that you can go to where you can book online. I don't know. Maybe there's something that I'm missing though that people are talking about with it. Granted, do I feel like Greenstreet is the person who would be stupid enough to dox someone? No, I don't think he'd leave such an open chest to punch, to be honest, but all people make mistakes, so maybe I'm wrong. And what we'll actually do is we'll jump right over to this website. Sign up. I don't want to sign up. And the reason why we're jumping over here is because I wanted to read a little bit of this about me from her to give you guys a little bit of a background just to see where your head is. And I'll give you my thoughts on it too. Okay. So this is right from her site. It says, an unexpected psychic medium. My entire life has consisted of ghost, spirit, and angel experiences. I was raised fourth generation on a family farm in rural Missouri. I fell in love with the stars around 8 years old. In 2006, becoming an astrophysicist was a dream come true. Then in 2019, got my MS. What's it? MS? You guys are probably going to make fun of me. I'm trying to think. Master's something? I don't know. I don't know what that means. MS in countering weapons of mass destruction. After a near-death experience in 2012, my spirit experiences were increasing. My science path led me directly face-to-face with energy that cannot be observed, the spirit world. Oh, cannot be observed, the spirit world. Okay. As I developed my abilities, I found my purpose and an ease of connecting to the unobserved energies. Since 2020, it's a master's rotary. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, master's. Yeah. What am I thinking? You know why it threw me? Because I'm used to seeing PhD on everybody's stuff everywhere. You usually don't see masters, you see PhD everywhere. You know, that's a good cover. I'll use this as a good cover. As I developed my abilities, I found my purpose and ease of connecting to the unobserved energies. Since 2020, I've been providing healing messages for clients through divine energy. Get in contact with me today to see how we can begin working together. Okay. Are we understanding why this is probably pretty controversial? Right? This is going to be pretty controversial for a lot of people. Now, I'll give you my short take on this, okay? Personally, we all believe in some crazy shit. We do. And I think a lot of where the line kind of comes drawn for me when it comes to stuff like this is the monetary situation. I mean, if you are, and I'm not saying she is because I don't know exactly what she's doing here, but I mean, if you are paying someone to talk to dead relatives and things like that, we don't have any proof that stuff's possible. You know, we don't really have proof of any of that. That's where it gets to where I can't get behind that, right? But I mean, if she wants to go talk about this or believe in that, believe whenever you want. Believe whenever you want. But it's the monetization of things that we can't prove, and maybe bringing false hope to people I can't condone it. Come on. I'm not gonna bash her. That's not what I do on this channel. I don't bash anybody, but I will give you the way I feel about it. So in a reasonable way. I feel like that's pretty reasonable. So your mileage with her is probably going to vary when it comes to stuff like this. There's going to be some people that look at it and go, you know, who cares, right? Who cares? Of course, this is her, and I had another picture. I thought that was kind of. Let me see. Maybe I got to go back for it. Yeah, we got another photo here. Kimball posted this one. This is a pretty funny photo. Kimball put, Sarah Gamm is ready for aliens. She's ready for aliens. Let me see. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing again. Jeez, Pete's. You know what? This is a pretty cool little rifle she's got, huh? I don't think I can actually zoom in once I click the photo, but she's got a little EOTech on top. I believe that's a little like a 1X EOTech red dot with the I believe I'm guessing that's a 4X combo on that. I'm not some like big guns guy or weapons guy at all, but I played a lot of Tarkov. You know, I own weapons, but yeah, I think that's what that is. When I seen that, I just go to Tarkov, EOTech. That was like my favorite site in that video game. So when I seen that, that was pretty funny. So she looks like she's having fun. That's cool. I can get down with that. And then also the Lansing Capitals hat, or not Lansing Capitals, but the Washington Capitals hat. And so she's into hockey. As we know, I'm a hockey player. That's cool. That's pretty cool. I do have, and this is like, there's like an order that we're going into this. I want to give you guys a little bit of the, like I said, the background, and then we'll move into the interview, and then we'll kind of go from there. Right. So here is a clip. This is from Mick West here. He grabs it. And I think this is from like a podcast from like a year or so ago, where she kind of gives a little bit more of her feelings about her psychic ability and kind of how she relates to, I don't want to say this, how she can almost like relate to grounds where there could have been crashes, where alien bodies could have been, and it's like through like Netflix document. It's wild stuff. It's wild stuff, but I'll go ahead and play it for you guys, and you can take a listen and see what you think.
I could actually tap into residual energy in an area as well. So like if you watch alien UFO movies right now, documentaries I should say,
Okay.
If you watch the documentaries, I can actually see what the residual energy is of an area. So I was watching one the other.
I mean, that's a crazy, wild claim, right? You can feel the residual energy from the area from watching it. It's pretty out there. It's pretty out there.
Day, and it talked about a crash site, and I could feel the beings terrified, like
Oh, wow.
that crash there. So I knew, I'm like, wow, these people aren't lying. That actually, I could feel the fear that's imprinted in the land,
Right.
and the impact and everything. So hopefully one day we will Nirvana Day, and we're gonna. I'm gonna mark it within 2 years. This is gonna happen.
Oh God, don't give me a date, Sarah. Don't do that to me. You know I hate dates, man. You know I hate dates. Every time somebody gives me a date on something, I'm like, oh shit, now nothing's coming. I guess it's just the way that it is when you've kind of been around this crazy ufology land for a little while. Arthur Preston, good to see you in the chat. Gebs, good to see you guys as well. Let me see what you guys are saying. Arthur says, I think I'm in love. Yeah, look, she's a beautiful woman, man. You can't hate on it. Can't hate on it. I'm not, like I said, I am not here to bash her. I just want to give you guys the opportunity to see all sides. That's what's fair. That's what's fair. You guys are smart, man. I'm not here to think for you. I'll give you my opinion, but come on, we're all adults, man. You guys come up with what you think is going on here. So that gives you just a little bit more about her, a little bit more of the psychic background, so that you can, get that good feel. Get that good feel. All right, so let me jump over to the clips. All right, and I believe I have these in pretty good order here. And we're gonna rock through these. Now, I am sure that my small little YouTube channel here, okay, I'm sure Matt Ford isn't gonna be bothered by us going through a few of his clips. I got this show, the full one, linked, but like I said, I want to let these clips play as much as I can, but there's like 6 of them, so I don't, we got to have a little bit of a space in between. So the first one we want to go through, and like I said, the interview is long. It is interesting if you want to go check it out. Why is she coming out now? Okay, I figured we start with that, right? That makes sense.
Why are you doing this?
My first gut response is why not? It's kind of given me a lot of courage lately with Lou Elizondo's book that came out. It was, the ending of that really helped me, I guess, light a match and want to talk and to help validate and maybe help give somebody else courage to come out as well. With James Fox's film coming out as well, it's just, I don't know if I believe it's the right time, but the stars have aligned right now, and I mean, why not?
The stars have aligned right now. Why not? Okay, so let me give you the first thing that I thought was very interesting. When we look at her background, okay, NGA, we got UAP Task Force. Does anyone else not find it interesting that she mentions Elizondo and his book being the reason? What else do we know about the UAP Task Force, the NGA, and other very prominent quote-unquote whistleblowers that are out there? Well, let's take a little bit of a look-see, shall we? This is part of David Grush's opening statement, okay? Mr. Chairman, ranking members of Congress. Let's zoom in a little bit. My name is David Charles Grush. I was an intelligence officer for 14 years, both in the U.S. Air Force, UAS or USAF, at the rank of major, and most recently from 2021 to 2023 at the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency at the GS-15 civilian level. Yeah, not exactly a lightweight, which is the military equivalent of a full bird colonel. I was my agency's co-lead in the unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP, and transmedium object analysis, as well as reporting to the UAP task force. Okay? And eventually the all domain anomaly resolution office. So why? This is just strange to me. I'm not saying it means anything. I just find it very strange that she would work in definitely at least the very vicinity that David Grush did, and that she wouldn't have came out around the time David Grush did. If I was in her position, David Grush would have probably been the person that would have gave me the real oomph to come out. Not probably Elizondo's book, where Elizondo, talks about like Colaris and stuff like that. I mean, stuff that we've heard before. I'd figure it's somebody she worked alongside with, to the best of my knowledge, from how this looks to me. That would be it. So that stood out to me, man. I was like, man, why would she not? And I'll be honest with you, the rest of this interview, I don't remember her mentioning Grush at all. And then the other thing I think that kind of stood out to me was that she didn't mention Jason Sands either. Didn't mention Jason Sands either. And the other thing that's interesting about that is because she's actually in the program. Jason Sands' new documentary, The Program, Sarah Gamm is going to be involved. And it's just like, here's another person that's in some kind of vicinity with Jason Sands, and still no one is coming out and kind of backing him at all. You know, it's interesting, right? I don't know. That's what I found interesting. Let's roll over to another clip. Now, okay, so a big part of this interview is about where she talks about kind of like what she was doing with the NGA, the UAP task force, where they were working, like as far as like how they were getting this imagery and where they were sharing it and how they were collaborating with the other people that she was working with. And she goes into this a little bit in this clip. Okay. And this will kind of give you the idea of how she's talking, or like, I guess where she's getting this information from. Pretty cool.
So you're on this R Space site, and in where I cut you off, you were talking about how this is a tool that warfighters use to communicate.
Yeah, the R Space site, if the best way, and I have to cut her off here, maybe this will make it really easy with the clip. Think of it like Discord. If you guys know what a Discord server is, you can jump in, you can chat, and you can share files and share images. That's what she's about to be describing to you.
So 24/7 support and great collaboration tool. People from all over the world that has access to this system can get to it, and you can chat. So a few of us, there was less than 20 probably of us that were in this room, very diverse backgrounds and just interested in the topic. At that point, I didn't even know a task force existed. I was just wanting to help and interested in this. And also I joked that I wanted to help find Mulder's sister because I was the biggest X-Files fan growing up.
I got to stop it because you guys know I complain about this with people that come out. Same thing as far as like Lou Elizondo did this. David Grush did this, just for like early examples. Everyone says they're not the UFO guy, right? They never looked into the past, never the history. I give her big credit here for being honest and coming out saying, yeah, I love the X-Files. I'm going to go look for Mulder's sister. That's cool. That's cool. I'm with that.
And that joke ended up becoming kind of more of a serious thing, but I used that over the years when I needed to like break the ice somewhere. But where was I? Oh, and that led to R Space. So you just mentioned R Space, and so that was kind of like a SharePoint site. Well, not was, it is. It's still out there. But think of like a SharePoint site where you could store data and then have comments and create all kinds of folders and stuff like that. So
that's interesting that there's stuff like that that's going on. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, but you just don't, this is stuff you just don't think about going throughout your day, going to work and stuff like that. You got these intelligence agencies that are sitting around on these servers, just chucking around videos and commenting on it and stuff like that. I mean, like I said, when you really think about it, it makes sense, but I don't know.
And what's the classification level of this R Space site?
Well, the classification goes up to the level that the system is on.
And she goes a little bit into more detail on it, but I'm going to cut clip short just for, time's sake here on it. But she kind of talks about how it's all, you have access to this R Space depending on what you have access to and need to know. So there's levels to it that you can move through. Obviously, she has top or TSSCI. I'm going to throw all those letters together, and obviously a Q clearance as well. Okay, so it's very interesting, and this is what I'll say too. I don't mean to like tangent here at all, but let me see if I can find a spot in the video where we go back. Okay, now here's something that I think about, and this was something early on in the interview when I started watching it. As I was wondering myself, I was looking at, okay, we got Elizondo's book over here in the corner, right? Got this cat picture with the UFO. She's obviously a very bubbly person. She doesn't seem like she'd be a boring person to talk to. I mean, she obviously seems like she has a personality, right? Definitely a personality. Why do I keep thinking that these people, guys, that are in these positions, and I'm not saying like there's tons of people that have clearances like hers, like there are, like it's not like there's only a few of them people, but I just feel like we'd run into some of these people that they'd just be a bit more buttoned up shirt. They'd be a bit more, not, I mean, boring's not like a good word, but like, sometimes I feel like to get in those kind of positions where you're dealing with such highly classified information, right? You would have to be just very, very reserved and focused. She wouldn't just be this loosey-goosey. And maybe that's stupid for me to think that. It probably is. You know, it's probably just a me problem. I mean, everybody's, you know, has their fun side. Most people do. But when I look at it, that's the stuff I see. And I just go, you know, the candles go in and stuff. It just doesn't seem right. Just the optics on the front end. I don't know. Maybe it means nothing. But that's kind of the rundown of how they were moving their information, how she was getting these videos, how she came into contact with this information. Okay. This is a very, very broad stroke because, like I said, the interview is very long. We can't play the whole thing. So she makes obviously a really, really big statement here. And, you know, Matt Ford sent to ask her essentially, have you seen anything that's not from this earth? Right? What do you think she's going to say? Huh? John Stokes says, yes, too relaxed. Arthur, conservative. Yeah, conservative. I'm hunting for the word. I'm hunting for the word. Rotary says, is she cooking and eating cats? No, I doubt it. She does have a cat though, and the cat kind of jumps up in this interview a couple of times. This is kind of funny, but yeah, I mean, conservative. Yeah, thank you, Arthur. You're on the border of that one. Here we go. This is what she's seen not from Earth. I think we get the question from him in there too.
Can you at least say, were there things that you saw that were clearly not from here? Maybe from our neighbors somewhere else?
Yes, absolutely. There was a few times when no doubt in my mind, that's not terrestrial, that's not from Earth, that's not an adversary craft. The way things maneuvered, G-forces experienced, disappear, reappear, pop back up. Sometimes it was, and I know I'm not saying anything new, but it's like it would like play. And, you know, pilots would lose track of something and it's no doubt in your mind, not from Earth.
No doubt in your mind, not from Earth. Sounds a lot like Carl Nell, right? Sounds a lot like it. So look, are we going to be able to see those videos? I guess not. She's not providing us those videos. I do once again give her points. I have to for coming out and just stating the obvious, which a lot of these quote unquote whistleblowers won't do, in my opinion, which is state the obvious. I'm not bringing anything new here. You know, she's just kind of confirming that this is what she's seen. Now, when you kind of tie that back, right? Because now you're asking yourself, because we're not going to see the videos, right? Do you believe her? Or in the sense of, maybe not that she's been on the systems and seen the video. I'm not saying that. I'm more asking, do you believe that she would know what she's looking at? Or do you believe, because of her prior, what we kind of went over prior about her being a medium and talking to dead people, blah, 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 what have you. Do you think that she could be exaggerating that? She could be reaching for that answer. Kirkpatrick would tell you, yeah, he would. But I don't know if Kirkpatrick really got to see exactly what they were able to see. And we'll get into that a little bit later here. But that's where we are always left here, guys, in this UFO land stuff. We're always asking, you know, it's always belief. It's always belief. And this is what gets frustrating. This is why people get to the point where they're like me and they're like, hey, look, the story's fine. I don't mind a good story. I don't mind the speculation, but I want the proof. Because, and I'm not tangenting, because what I'm trying to get to here is I'm trying to say that if you take out the monetary stuff, right? Take all that out, because obviously I don't agree with that. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I don't agree with the monetary stuff that she's doing. But let's just say she has these crazy beliefs. Let's say they're crazy. Angels, demons, it's all here. If she was able to get you the video, if anyone who made claims like this was able to get you the video out and it was a craft or it was the body, and we could verify that, would you care? Would you care what she believed? If it was her religion, would you care if the proof was real? That's what I want to ask everybody. Would you care? I don't know, man. It is like I said, as long as we don't have a grifting situation, we're not putting people in harm's way, I don't think I'd care, because there's the video. As long as we're not hurting people, I don't think I'd care. That's like trying to tell somebody, well, you got to have the same religion as me to put the video out. No. That's what makes this difficult. It makes it so damn difficult. Because you want to trust her. You do. You want to trust her that she's doing the right thing, that she's not bringing her bias into the equation. You do. And I'm not saying she is. But I'm saying, how the hell am I supposed to know? I just got to guess. That's what we're always doing. That's what we're always doing. So she makes that claim. Okay? She makes that claim. It's a big one. I'm going to leave that one up to you and see how you guys feel on that. Okay.
So
where are we at here? We're 31 minutes. We're making good time. We're making good time. I figured we'd spend probably 35, maybe 40 minutes on this anyways. That makes about sense. Okay. Now she makes another really, really good statement throughout this. Okay. Well, actually, wait. Time out. No. That was thinking of the last thing. I disagree with her on this statement coming up. We'll play it and I'll go over it.
So do you think that there are going to be other UAP task force members that are going to see this and decide to go public as well?
I really hope so. I hope more and more people want to come out. Like, I know I haven't said anything absolutely cool, groundbreaking. I'm not sharing a glass of wine with an NHI.
No, you're not sharing a glass of wine, Sarah, but you did say you seen something for sure, not from Earth. So, I mean, that was a pretty big thing.
Which would be super cool.
But your cat.
But I really hope that it does. And you don't have to have groundbreaking, incredible information. What we need right now is more people to come out and to validate and to say that there's stuff here that is being buried for some reason that I really don't know why.
I disagree. I understand what she means. I don't have any problem with anyone doing what she's doing. I don't have any issue at all with someone coming out and giving their story and giving their claims. Hell, I've had a sighting. I went and told the sighting. But is that what we need? No. We need hard proof at this point in the topic. That's what we need. We need David Grush to come back, someone like him to come back and either fulfill the rest of his testimony and tell us what the hell's going on. We need someone that we've never heard of that actually wants to come out and pull a Snowden and drop the evidence. That's what we need. We enjoy hearing the stories. We enjoy speculating. So I'm not on the same page with her there. We're in different places when it comes to that, for sure, without a doubt. Now, the last couple clips here that we got. Let me see. Do I want to? Okay, we'll just jump right to it. I got a tweet that I want to go over to in a second here that kind of goes along with this. Right? This is I'll set this up just like a tad. I was trying to do the best I could to verify exactly what she's about to go over in this clip. It says Arrow essentially ignored the UAP task force data. There was a thing. I'll save it. I'll play the clip first.
So you're saying so you guys would go to Arrow and say, hey, we've got this mountain of evidence or this mountain of data because we've been spending millions of dollars collecting all this stuff, and Arrow tells you to take a hike.
Yeah, that's a easy, simple way to put it.
Not unbelievable.
So she's essentially saying that they tried to take the task force data and bring it to Arrow and they dumped it. They didn't take it. And, when I heard this was something that I like to kind of try to clue in on, because that's when I go, okay, I want to see, is that really what happened? I couldn't remember, and my mind kept going back to I feel like I seen a clip on TV, or maybe it was on Greenwald's channel, and he had mentioned that they had not gone into those cases, like the task force cases had been overlooked by Arrow. And I can't remember. I still to this day can't remember if it's true. And I don't know. I did my damnedest to try to find it. Like if you go back to the historical report, you know what? Do I have it pulled up? Maybe I do. No, I don't. I don't have it pulled up. But if you go back to the historical report, I mean, Arrow definitely talks about the task force. They reference the results. They give us the results of what happened, but they don't really, which I'm sure they just looked over their reports. I don't have the answer of whether or not they really pulled the data. She's saying no. So I seen this tweet the other day from John Greenwald, and I kind of just, I don't know, it kind of made sense. It was somewhere along those lines. It says, we can see that as the first quarter of fiscal year 2023, the DoD's UFO office, Arrow, had 700 cases open with only 38 tagged as closed. That's less than 5.5% solve rate at that time. Sounds like an issue much bigger than what they try and pass off in press statements and public hearings. So I don't know. I guess maybe because he just stood out because I'm thinking about the case data, what's there and what hasn't been. So 38 of them tagged. I don't know. If you guys know, let me know. I tweeted at John, but I mean, who the hell am I? He's probably not gonna respond. He's gonna probably roll over it, or he just thinks that he thinks it's an obvious question or something. I don't know. He seems like a nice guy. I'd love to talk to him, dude. That'd be cool to talk to Greenwald for sure. But I tried to fact check it. I try to get into a little bit of the meat that goes on it. And then last clip.
Sure.
Let me see here. Okay. Now, when you look at the thumbnail, I put new UFO whistleblower in quotes. All right. It's interesting what she's about to say in regards to that. But when I think back at the thumbnail, like I really don't try to be misleading with the thumbnails. And I think Arthur, I think you had seen on there, you had put on Twitter, like, what was it? Ask her a question, this or that or whatever. And I was like, shit, I'm not interviewing her. Like, I didn't want it to seem like I was interviewing her because I'm not doing that. But that's the second time someone's got thought my thumbnail was going to be interview. When I first came back after my break, everyone thought I was interviewing Elizondo. I'm like, yeah, right. Good luck. But no, I use the word whistleblower because, dude, there's just no other way to describe it that anybody knows what the hell I'm talking about. If I put Sarah Gamm talks about UFOs, it's way too new, right? So I put UFO whistleblower so people at least have a good idea of really what we're talking about. But this is something that I'm going to give her a lot of credit for, dude. A lot of credit for. Because I feel like if she had a lot of really bad intention, she would have grabbed a hold of the term whistleblower and just rode it. And let's see what she says about the word whistleblower and herself.
Are you scared at all, Hasim? Are you scared at all by retaliation from the intelligence community?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not a whistleblower, so that's been something that I've been very adamant on stating anytime I've talked about this anywhere. I am not a whistleblower.
That blew my mind when she said that. It blew my mind when she said that. I thought for sure she was going to say that about herself. I mean, what's the difference between her and everyone else that's making claims that's not bringing forward hard evidence? There's not much of a difference, but she kept it real. You gotta give credit where it's due, man. You gotta give credit where it's due.
Not disclosing anything crazy, which you guys have now heard. I am validating. I am stating what I can, but I'm not a whistleblower. The people that have whistleblowed are also so brave. I can't imagine the stress and some of the retaliation that they may or may not have faced. I'm not scared for the intelligence community because they've known, like my job knows, one of the first things I said when I started my current job in the Pentagon was, I'm going to be in a film and it's on UAPs. And most people are like, cool, when's it come out? Can I watch it? So no one cares. And then when they find out about my spiritual abilities, it is negligible in conversations.
Negligible in conversations of spiritual abilities. That's interesting. Nobody around her seems to care about that. She says, I'm going to be in, it sounds like NFL, but I think what she says is in a film. And I think that's the reference to James Fox's The Program. So look, I understand, and I don't mean to beat a dead horse here on this. I really don't, but I understand that there's going to be a side of this community that looks at the psychic stuff and it's going to absolutely beat her up. I get it. 100%. I understand. And for the money thing, in my opinion, at least a little criticism is probably due, right? It's probably due to comparative to what she can probably prove with those abilities, right? Probably pretty fair. But I can't fully go in a like a bad route against her because she's kept it real about a lot of stuff here. Did she see some videos? You know what's interesting? And she goes over this a little bit later in the video. I thought about bringing up the clip, but it's so short what she says, and she doesn't really get into the depth that I wanted to bring up the clip. But have you guys ever heard of the Sentient program? The Sentient program, very, very classified satellite observations system. It works with what? Who works with that? That's the NRO, okay? Who works alongside and moves intelligence together with the NRO? The NGA. All right. So now what's interesting about that is that when she's actually asked a question, and I believe it's a question from the audience, from Ford's audience, that says, what do you know about the Sentient program? And she gets really cagey and kind of, I don't know. What thing? And that's where I think there's no way she doesn't know what that program is. No way. Now, if she had access to that system, why is that system important? Well, because that system has been said and been known to see Tic Tacs for over a decade. I believe over a decade. At least 5. No, probably longer, because I think from 2004. So can we completely discredit her because we don't like the medium stuff? We don't like her belief in life after death or her near-death experience? Is that fair to do to her? I don't think so, brother. I don't think so. Doesn't mean she's telling the truth. Doesn't mean she's not stretching it. But she's been somewhere, dude. She's been somewhere. We got to be fair. Damn it, we got to be fair, man. I don't know. I keep trying to be fair. There's people that aren't going to like that. Nothing I can do for you, dude. This is just the way that I see it over here at Terrestrial Material. Okay, off my soapbox there. Off my soapbox. So yeah, I don't know. My final verdict on her is I don't know. It's an interesting story. She's been places. She's got some interesting beliefs, without a doubt. We'll have to see what we find going forward. Let me get back to this area here. Okay. All right. So where do we want to mosey on to next? Okay, I believe I still got these in order. Lou Elizondo, okay. We're probably going to go over maybe a little bit over an hour, guys. Maybe a little bit over, so keep an eye on that. This article came out, 2 days ago? Okay, Osiris. This is Jeremy McGowan. All right, this is Jeremy McGowan's Twitter. This tweet comes out, and we'll go from the side. It says, after a series of tweets referencing the fact I have received the military service records of Elizondo and fielding hundreds of questions via DM, Discord, and even a few phone calls. After giving Lou an opportunity to provide clarity on his roles, responsibilities, and accomplishments of his military service, I've decided to publish my findings. Does that sound controversial? Does that sound like controversy's coming? I guess it does. I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but essentially what he's going over is his enlistment training. This is for Elizondo, August 1995, February 1996. You get to see he just breaks down like how best do I put it? He breaks down like just the background, like Lou's army background. Okay, deployment in Korea, 96, February 1997. Return to the U.S., February 1997, August 2003. And essentially what he's saying is that he doesn't there's like this gap in between And listen, and guys, I am not like super military savvy, okay, when it comes to this stuff. So I'm going to do the best that I can with giving you kind of a little bit breakdown. And the reason why I'm kind of a little cagey about this is because this is serious, in my opinion, man. I don't like to mess around with people's military records or call things into question that shouldn't be there, okay? It's really touchy. The only reason why I'm even going over it with the lack of knowledge that I do have with it is because I at least want to make people aware that they can kind of jump into this thing and take a look at it if you want. All right. You can follow Jeremy on Twitter on the Osiris, and you can kind of get into it a little bit further. But essentially what he's saying is that there's this gap missing. Like Lou's counterintelligence training background, his military background in the Army only got him to what's called an E4. All right, which is not like some very high-end rank in the Army, and it doesn't really like bode well through the paperwork that he's been able to pull out that Lou would have all of these accolades, or he would have like all of this background, like Afghanistan, all these counter intel ops, like these high special operations programs that he would have been involved in, like Gray Fox and stuff like this. So he's saying like the rank and the experience of it just doesn't compute. Now, when I first started hearing him go over this, he leaves like a caveat to where he says, well, when Lou moves over into the DIA and into the DOD, there is a chance, he says it's not a great chance, but there is a chance that a lot of these bigger stories, like the one where, I guess just for instance, right, since we're talking about it, where in Lou's book, he talks about remote viewing an area that had an IED, and he had told the guy, hey, I don't want to go into this area. He remote viewed the intelligence because he felt that there was a problem. Okay. These kind of missions. He's questioning whether or not Lou would have been involved in any of this stuff because he just doesn't show the background that would be required for that. Okay. That there's a gap that's missing there. That's what this is going over. Okay. But he doesn't, and to be fair to Jeremy McGowan, he doesn't say, look, it's not possible that he wasn't involved in these kind of, special missions. Okay. What's the word he uses? SMU? Is that what it is? Yeah, right here, SMU, Special Mission Units. Okay. Got lucky there, found that pretty quick. I knew it was like SMU or something like that. But yeah, so he kind of like, he breaks that down, but he does leave the opening for it, okay? Now, granted, I appreciate any kind of information that you can get, that you can look at. I mean, we'd love to be able to verify this stuff if we can, for all that we can get. Now, let me see. Should we just go off this for this next part? Okay. Yeah, we will. So 3 hours ago, the average Chris posts this tweet right here. Okay. Now I know he's got a military background. All right. So he says, and there it is, proof that Elizondo was not ever in combat and was a senior counterintelligence desk officer and SME for the counterintelligence conducted by redacted throughout the U.S. CENTCOM. He was not in battle, never saw combat. General Mattis didn't save him. This that's not what I'm saying. I'm not stating those claims, man. Don't come after me. I'm just reading the tweet. Okay, this is what's said. And he posts this photo, and Rotary Motion sent this my way as well. John P. Adventures, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. I know some other people kind of get in the chat here, okay? Now, oh shit, are you guys gonna be able to read this thing? Can we open a new tab? Yeah, we can. All right, so here it is. Senior System Civilian Evaluation Report. Boy, oh boy, I wish I knew more about this. It says Luis D. Elizondo, that checks out, Intelligence Specialist Operation. And I'm assuming that this is a bit of a more in-depth, detailed report about just more about that background. It says project manager for U.S. Army counterintelligence special operations activities headquartered in Kuwait. Plan. Oh wait, I'm reading it right here, guys. Do you want me to zoom in a little bit more? I don't think I can actually. Plan, coordinate, execute highly sensitive investigations and human operations to detect, identify, and neutralize foreign intelligence collection efforts and terrorist/extremist activities throughout the Middle East. Responsible for all operational and management aspects concerning the conduct of this mission. Integrate operational activities with analysis to develop targets and identify trends. Conduct planning with the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, National Security Agency, he's everywhere, U.S. Special Operations Command, Central Command, and the U.S. Air Force Office of Special Investigations, huh? How about that? Now he highlights this area, and I'm assuming when I read this, I guess I kind of get where he's coming from with this. He says in the highlighted area, function as a senior counterintelligence desk officer and subject matter expert for counterintelligence operations conducted by blank throughout the U.S. Central Command Area of Operations. So when you read that, I mean, obviously, for any layman reading it, like myself, desk officer, right? So that's insinuating that what, he was never deployed, that those things never happened that he talked about in his book. I don't know. I don't bring this up today to claim to be an expert, but I just bring this up to where anybody that understands this stuff, if you do and you've got something that you can add to it, put it in the comments, man. But I want to make you aware that this is there. This is kind of like the big controversy, the latest controversy with Lou. I mean, there's a million of them. There's a million of them. I see he's his desk jockey, Hammers does. Yeah, I mean, could be. But it's here. So if you guys want to take a look, you can follow the average Chris at Aerotech Space. He tweets a lot, man. I ask him every time I got a question with something. I think I asked him about the Eglin Air Force Base error report. I was asking him, I think, about why we couldn't get like the repair logs, I think, on that plane. There was the sensor system, I think, was bad, and they had to change out that sensor system. I don't know. He pointed me in some good directions. So can't say anything bad about his advice when it comes to this kind of stuff. You know, not saying he's 100% right here, but it seems like he's got his feeling of it. The other thing that I'll say about this is the General Mattis didn't save him. Now, the General Mattis story, I personally, if I have seen Lou tell it before, I don't remember. But I remember, obviously, Tom DeLonge. I've played the clip on the channel before of him telling how General Mattis came in and swooped in and saved him. But if you remember from the book, Lou doesn't claim that in the book. He doesn't even put himself in that story. He tells that story, but he doesn't claim that he's in it. So I don't know. If you guys know of the clip, or if you can show the clip, I'll bring it up next week or whatever, and we can take a look at it. But I don't recall Lou actually from his mouth telling that Mattis story. So he might just not. I don't know if Chris is actually like claiming that he said it, but he's just kind of adding it there. But I haven't seen that. Just the little details, you know. Just if I can add a little detail, I want to be able to do that. As we continue on with Elizondo, we're going to try to get moving here because we only got I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, and I want to start trying to get on the wrap-up section here. So Elizondo is on parade still, of course. Universal truth, the evidence is clear. We are not alone. He says, I'm very excited to announce that I will be hosting a few limited speaking engagements around the country. This will be my opportunity to engage with members of the community in a more personal and intimate way about the topic we all care so much about. This is your... We're going to read the rest of this opportunity to share with me and other attendees your thoughts and ideas about the next steps for disclosure. Okay. So this train ain't ending anytime soon, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm not pulling this up to promote this. I'm more kind of like looking at, okay, this is what he's doing. And it gives us some interesting dates. Okay. This is the true reality of what we're doing. October 28th, November 3rd, November 8th, November 20th. So this is going. This Lou train that everyone has been seeing, that's been going and going, interview after interview after interview, book talk, it's not going anywhere. Okay. I am going to try to cover what's going on with it to like the least that I can. I want to try to inform you guys, but I myself get a little bit winded on dealing and talking about Elizondo. So you're not going to get spammed with Elizondo stuff on this channel, but when there's something that's interesting, I'll pull it up. He's got coming soon, Jesse Michaels, the best interview ever with Elizondo you'll ever see on Yes Theory. So you got that one that's coming up. Before we get to this, I want to at least make a mention of the thing at the top here. Do I have it? Do I not have it anymore? I thought I saved it. No, I don't. Okay. I thought I saved it. Julian Dory just got done with an interview yesterday with Elizondo. It's 3.5 hours. He's editing it right now, and that should be up, I'm hoping, in a couple of weeks or a week, maybe probably only a week or so. I know he does. Julian does all that work himself. We got really lucky yesterday, man. I hosted a Twitter space for a minute I just opened it up just to kind of talk crap for an hour about whatever until my wife ended up getting home, so I was gonna make dinner. And then, you know, me and Tupa were sitting around talking about video games, and Julian Dory ended up showing up. Julian Doran. So it was really crazy. And he started talking about the interview, and we got some inside knowledge. Unfortunately, the space, I didn't record it because I didn't think we would have something like that. I mean, the space blew up, man. It was crazy. A lot of fun. It's interesting when you get to get a little bit of a background on how somebody that you like, how they do their interview, somebody talented with interviews, get to hear how he dealt with Elizondo. Get to hear the backstory. Did Elizondo require any questions be removed? Did he want a list of questions? Julian Dory said no. Said he wouldn't have done the interview that way. So I think if you're going to look forward to any really interview that's coming out with Elizondo, the Julian Dory interview is probably going to be very, very good. We just don't get to see 3.5 hours of Lou. We got a little bit of a long one on the Rogan, but I think Julian Dory is a little bit more no nonsense than Rogan's been lately, and I'll give him credit. I don't mean to gas Julian Dory up just because he came in this space. That's not my point. Facts are facts. If you watch his channel, you see that he doesn't really pull punches, man. Look at what happened with the Ashton interview. He doesn't pull punches. This is the kind of interview I think that people are going to want to see. And supposedly he's supposed to have a part 2 in November. He's hoping to get that back. So looking forward to that. But yeah, mate, look, Jesse Michaels is no slouch. I'm sure it'll be good. That's why I at least pull it up. Obviously, there's been a rumor whether or not Jay Stratton was going to put out a book. He was going to put along his memoirs. He is. Okay. And he unfortunately is quoted in saying the process of disclosure has begun. Damn it. Damn it. Don't do that. It's another situation too where Elizondo and Stratton aren't lining up. Ask Elizondo, disclosure's already happened, right? It's already happened. According to Stratton, it's just begun. Well, we've only just begun. Remember Happy Gilmore? We've only just begun. But that's coming, and then I'll click this as well. Where's it at here? No, don't give me no ads here. And the one little point that I did want to make about this is that, why isn't it? Oh yeah, here we go. HarperCollins. So he struck a memoir deal with HarperCollins. Same one that Lou, same publisher Lou had. Okay, so they're running along with that. Okay. Couple quick things for Congress. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand on public UAP hearing in Senate with Arrow. I have it on the schedule for this month. All right, let's pop this up here if it wants to load for us. And I'll play a little bit of this audio. Askapol's been out and about again, so let's give him a little bit of cred here. Go follow along with him. He knows what's going on.
Hey, ma'am, are we gonna see a UAP hearing this month?
Yeah, I have that on schedule.
When is it scheduled?
It's in September, I'm pretty sure.
Interesting. Why is that a priority?
It's a priority for me because I think it's very important that we continue to make things publicly available. Give a progress report on how many unidentified aerial phenomena we've assessed and analyzed, give examples of what we have identified, and give examples of what we haven't identified so that the community can be kept up to speed about what we're actually doing and what this office is doing. We also want to try to continue to build credibility within this office.
Please do. Please try to build that credibility.
So more of the public can feed in sightings and have a place and a platform to send information and inquiries.
I don't really buy that. Come on. Public submissions? Has she been on Twitter and seen the videos that are posted? We got to be careful with all that public submissions talk.
Because that's eventually what this office is supposed to do.
And this is gonna be with Arrow, Timothy Phillips.
Yep, and we'll have there's a new head that's been identified. I don't know if it's been publicly named yet, but I'm hoping that the new head will be the one to testify.
Okay, and that's interesting too. So she's believing Tim Phillips is going to be there. He's the stand-up director for Arrow, or kind of was, I guess, now, because Kozlowski's in there now, and she's hoping that Kozlowski will be there. So she's still saying September in this, which is I mean, shit, man, we're in September, so we kind of gotta get that thing going. Yeah, so that's coming. That's going to be on the Arrow Senate side. We'll see what happens, man. That's interesting enough. And then this was a pretty interesting news here. So Nancy Mace to lead next UAP hearing. Mace asked David Grush whether the United States recovered the bodies of non-human pilots from crashed UFOs at last year's hearing. So if you want to know, if you need a little bit of refresher, who Nancy Mace is, we'll listen to a little bit of this clip here.
Stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are.
So that's Nancy Mace. Okay, she's the one that's going to be leading the next UAP hearing. Okay, and you know the interesting thing about this too, we don't have to go over the audio with it. I mean, we can. We can go over a little bit of this audio here. What time is that? It's an hour. Okay. Now, we'll skip the audio. He's just simply asking who it is, and Luna simply says it's Nancy Mace, okay? The reason why we're going to skip this is because I'd rather just say this instead. This is the hearing that they're talking about, or at least Burchett. I'll never get that right, I guess. That Burchett is saying that they're going to be pointing fingers, hostile witness situation. These are the kind of claims that we talked about 2 weeks ago. That's that hearing. So now we know who's going to be running it. Because he, in that clip, when he started talking about that, he said, well, it's not going to be him running it, or me, not going to be him running it. But yeah, so we know it's going to be her. So that's interesting enough. It's coming. We don't have solid dates. We don't have solid dates on this stuff yet. Is what it is. What can we do? The only other person that may be there is Tim Gallaudet, or Gallaudet, or Gallaudet, and I'm always going to say it wrong, Rear Admiral. Obviously he's big on he's been really big. I mean, the Sean Ryan episode that he did was really huge. He kind of talks about that there. Sean Ryan now has a million views. He's obviously a big USO guy, really big into the USOs, and he's got a lot of people around him, or not people around him, but he's involved in a lot of the organizations that are out there. I know he's got his hands around the Galileo Project, which maybe at some point in time we'll start to see what they've been looking at, huh? Can we get some data out of there for once? The Galileo Project, Soul Foundation, as well as Ryan Graves and the Americans for Safe Aerospace. So he's, I mean, connected in the circle. He's in the ring there. He's in the circle. So he's, Tim Gallaudet says Congress has asked him to testify about UFOs in November. So November, okay? That's kind of what you're looking at when it comes from, which I'm assuming it's the House side. The House side. I don't think he's going to be doing anything with the Arrow meeting with Gillibrand. So we're looking at that. Where are we at? How much time we got? Let me see. We got a little bit more time. We'll do this before we go to the AI videos, okay? This just came out a couple of hours ago. And I hope the music doesn't get me killed here on this. But James Fox has put out a quick little update for us, huh? Let's hear this.
I'm actually in Lonnie Zamora's truck, pulling in my boat for a much-needed lake day.
That's badass, by the way. I'd like to be in the Lonnie Zamora truck. Come on, dude.
Things are on schedule. Trailer should be done in a week. I know I keep saying that, but we're working on it, I swear.
60 grand, buddy. They better be working on it. Better be great. 60 G's.
Round the clock. Anyway, I hope you guys are all enjoying the weekend. Peace. All
right, so we get a little bit of an update. The trailer is going to be coming in about a week for the program, his documentary that'll be out there. When I seen that today, I had to throw that on there. All right, last two videos and we're going to wrap up here, okay? Were you guys able to see this? I seen Elon Musk posted this little video here. And these are these drones. I think they're from China, right? These Chinese drone light shows. Well, we definitely need to get that music out of there. Holy. China breaks a new Guinness World Record. Yeah. Look at these drones. Holy. The world's largest drone show. 8,100 drones flying simultaneously. It's awesome. I've seen these videos before, but the only reason why I haven't shown a lot of them on here is because there are some fake ones. And I'll be honest, I can't tell. I mean, AI videos getting so good nowadays, it's hard to tell. But I mean, people will just fake them in a lot of ways. But these are really incredible. Look at these. Jeez Louise. We'll let it run one more time here for it. They'll nail us on it, right? But one thing I'll say is that this is obviously for entertainment purposes. It's great. But on the other hand, you can't argue that if that was militarized, you'd have a hell of a problem. I mean, you'd have a hell of a problem, right? So I'm sure that our government is worried about stuff like this, but I don't know. I still think that our technology is far ahead as well, and I'm sure that they've been game planning this stuff. They spend billions every year on defense. Billions. So, very cool. Last thing I will show here. Get out of this thing. Get out of this. He's put me at the top. Dude, Chris is getting all the plugs today. He's getting all the plugs. Okay, so this is from last night. From Happy Punch. I think this is Keemstar's other, it's like his celebrity boxing Twitter account or something like that. I think that's where it's from. It says the UFC has an AI Dana White speaking fluent Spanish, welcoming fans to the Sphere. The Sphere. So the Sphere is this, you guys have heard of it, Las Vegas Sphere, right? It's that giant dome, that giant sphere building where the whole thing is a screen and you go inside and it's like a giant screen from floor to ceiling, and it actually curves up across the ceiling. So the UFC Ultimate Fighting Championship, MMA, if you guys aren't aware of it, they did their pay-per-view card last night at the Sphere, and it was called Noche. So it was UFC Noche. It was all about Mexican heritage. And so the whole theme was like just Mexican art everywhere. It looked incredible. It looked incredible. I'm sure it was like a you had to be there kind of thing. But even the images that I had seen from last night was incredible. Imagine if you were there. The sound is incredible. I guess the seats actually have haptic feedback in the seats. I digress. I didn't want to, who's going to pay $3,000 a ticket to get in? There was $3,000 to even put your foot in that damn place. But when you walked in and you welcomed, this is an AI video of Dana White. This is the big promoter here for the UFC. Most people have heard of him. A little bit of a shaky past on a couple of things. We won't get into it, but I'm an MMA, and he greets you, and it's a video of him. And Dana White, to my knowledge, doesn't speak Spanish, but he's going to speak fluent Spanish for you and welcome you in.
It is a celebration of combat sports in the history of Mexico. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Bienvenidos a Noche UFC. Esta es mi carta de amor al pueblo mexicano. Lo digo todo el tiempo. Algunos de los seres humanos más impresionantes que han pisado esta tierra han sido mexicanos. Cuando alguien dice que peleas como un mexicano, es el mayor cumplido que puedes recibir. Y esta noche no solo es una celebración del Día de la Independencia de México, sino una celebración de los deportes de combate en la historia de México.
Really cool. Really cool. Scary. Scary for the implications of that. What you could do. But very cool, man. It's moving, huh? It's really moving. Awesome. I mean, it looked fluid. It looks, when you see him, it doesn't look bad at all. Right? Moving real well. You even got the little finger movement. Looks good. Looks good. So that's the AI video of the week right there. Very, very cool. The UFC, man, I'll tell you, the other thing I'll say is they budgeted. This is how crazy it is for them to do that Sphere show. He budgeted $8 million to do it, and they ended up spending over $20 million. Incredible. Incredible. They actually had to build like a server farm in the back of the, like a rendering farm in the back of the arena to just make the graphics, because it's just, the screen's so big. It was crazy. It was incredible stuff they did. So yeah, there's that. I don't think there's really anything else that I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a peek at here. I tried to hit the highlights for what I thought was going to be a good little pickup for you guys. So yeah, look, I guess in conclusion, we'll have to see what happens with Sarah Gamm. I don't know. Maybe later on we hear more. I mean, usually with ufology we don't. But I heard somebody say that, you know, the quality of the whistleblowing, quote unquote whistleblowing, that is going down. You know, it's we're getting further and further away. We're getting more just, you know, second, third hand testimony that's coming out. Yeah, I hope it changes. I don't know. I hope it changes. I'll have to see what happens with these hearings that are coming up. They could be really cool. They could. I don't know. I don't want to be negative, but I don't want to be overly optimistic, but last couple of things. Thank you guys for hanging out. Of course, it's plug time. Let me get over here for you guys, and let me do this as well. Give ourselves a little backing music here for the end. I want to blow your eardrums out. But yeah, thank you for coming and watching. Red Panda Koala's got a very, very cool document, like say 50-minute little small first part of his documentary on Lou Elizondo. He just released it on his channel. Go check that out. I'll be on Alien Addict tonight right after this. I think it's at 4 p.m. If I remember right, it's usually at 4 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. And I think that Red's actually going to join us. So that will be cool. You can come over there, get to hear Red, and then you get to go watch his thing. Red's been very, very cool, man, to me and everybody in Alien Addict. So I always want to try to support people that are always cool to us, man. Another just thing that was cool I want to give a shout out to, because last night that space that I was telling you guys about, Chupacabra was an amazing help. He came in and co-hosted it, and he's a master of running those spaces, and it wouldn't have ran as smooth as it was without him. So big thank you to him. If he ever gets to see this, maybe he's watching in the background. Maybe he's in the anonymous section. He could be, but he's got the UFO timeline that he's working on, and it's getting even better. I've been giving him my thoughts. I've been playing around with it every day. I've had a chance to use it behind the scenes, and maybe next week I'll ask him and see if I can show you guys a little bit of it. I just want to make sure that he's comfortable, or it seems like he's comfortable enough to preview it, or maybe he just wants to preview it himself. I don't know. I just think it's really cool, so I just want to play with it and show you guys like the timeline of what he's doing. It's really awesome. So that's all there for you. That's the end of the plugs for me. Follow me on Twitter. It's right there at Terrestrial Material. You guys will get the show updates, and then obviously I tweet and I do a space every once in a while, and I might start doing more of those. We'll see. You can follow there, but like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys for coming, and have a great rest of your Sunday. All right, hang in there. See you guys later.
Sunday afternoon and brew my cup. No UFO live stream shows on What the Truck. Hold up, what am I thinking? Terrestrial materials on at 1 p.m. Eastern. Terrestrial material, give me a recap. Terrestrial material, that's where you'll find me at. Aliens and AI, Matt, he's a hell of a guy. I bet I'll see John Stokes' steps and rotary motion. The cosmic twilight will hang out too. Jeff Garvey and Tim G. Star will sure stop by. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Live stream shows on What the Truck. Hold up, what am I thinking? Terrestrial materials on at 1 p.m. Eastern. Terrestrial material, give me a recap. Terrestrial material, that's where you'll find me at. Aliens and AI, Matt, he's a hell of a guy. I bet I'll see John Stokes' steps and rotary motion. Cosmic twilight will hang out too. Jeff Garvey and Tim G. Star will sure stop by. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Go! Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please don't forget to like, share, and me a recap. Terrestrial material, that's where you'll find me at. Aliens and AI, Matt, he's a hell of a guy. I bet I'll see John Stokes' steps in rotary motion. The cosmic twilight will hang out too. Jeff Garvey and Tim G. Star will sure stop by. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Thanks again, everybody. See ya on the other side.